Hello everyone, it is Friday, and so I want to talk about what I have been reading this week. Normally in these Friday reads, I talk about what I finished and what I am currently reading, but I have not finished anything in the last week. I don't think I've finished anything. The last thing was like October 27th or something, so it would have been before my last Friday reads. I'm just not reading a lot this week. Some people would call that a slump. I don't call it a slump. I just have other things going on and I can't focus. It's just kind of a stressful week, like mental health wise. We have the midterm elections, a lot of stuff stressing me out with that. Have personal things. I have a good friend who is in the hospital, and so I've just been worrying a lot about him and not a lot of focusing on reading. We also had Halloween, so we had an evening where we were just doing family stuff and all that. I'm also the reason I'm filming here, just randomly standing up in my bedroom, is because I didn't want to set up to film somewhere else sitting down, because I'm full on cleaning mode. My daughter has her birthday tomorrow, just a very small party with just a couple of her best friends and their parents. And so I'm just cleaning the house today, and I didn't want to lose my momentum. So I was I'm just gonna film for 10 minutes, then I'm gonna go back and clean some more. So let's talk about what I am reading. I have a couple things that I have either started or am still reading from before. So one is that I had a couple short story collections that I had meant to finish in October, but I just didn't. So first I have Maria, and this one I've been reading since September, and I had read all the short stories, and then I just had the novella, which this first part is all short stories and this part is the novella. I only have 15 pages left in the novella. So that's what I've been reading this week. I had meant to get on this and read the novella before the end of October. It didn't happen because I was if it was a short story, I can just get it done. But it didn't happen, and I'm not loving it at all. And that's the other thing, it's a novella. I should be able to just finish it quickly, but I have been reading this all week. Every day I read 10 pages of this novella, and I finally have 15 pages left and I just need to finish it today. Yeah, not loving it, but not thinking it's bad. It's just not my thing, and I probably should have given up, but I had already read so much of it by reading all the short stories that I was it's just a novella, just push through. So yeah, I don't know, that maybe is a weird thing that I should have just DNF'd, but I don't know, it just felt like I might as well, because it's not that much more to do. Yeah, I didn't. And then the other short story collection I was reading is Toad Words by T. Kingfisher, and I'd read all the short stories before the end of October, and then I realized that the whole second half of the ebook, because it's an ebook, I was this is the last story, and I'm at 50%, and I'm oh, this is a novella. So I'm also in the middle of reading that novella, but then I kind of started it because I was going back and forth between reading some of the Maria novella and then reading a short story from Toad Words, and then I was oh, I should probably, before getting fully into the novella in Toad Words, I should finish Maria. But because I've been moving so slowly on that has delayed my finishing of Toad Words. So my plan today is to finish the last 15 pages of Maria, because I haven't read any of it yet today. I can handle 15 pages, and then I can finish the novella of Toad Words tomorrow. I don't remember what the novella is called. I think it's Boar and Apples. It's a Snow White retelling. I've only read a little tiny bit of the novella, and I can already tell it's a Snow White retelling. So I'm I really want to get into that because I like T. Kingfisher's writing a lot, especially kind of her shorter fiction like this. So I was okay, I really need to devote the time to it. So finish one, then pick that up. And then the other thing that I'm currently reading, I talked about this last week, my daughter and I are reading Romesa, and this is fairy tale retellings, but the main characters are Muslim, and we finished the second story. So this has 3 stories: a Rapunzel retelling, a Cinderella retelling, and a Sleeping Beauty. And I think as of last week, we had finished the Rapunzel. This week we read the Cinderella story, and she loved it. We just finished it last night and are really excited to finish this off by reading The Sleeping Beauty. I would highly recommend this for you to read if you like fairy tale retellings, but definitely if you have young kids. My daughter is 7 and is super loving this. And then the other thing I picked up and I've read about a third of is The Orphan Witch. I just started this a couple days ago on audio, and because I just wanted an audiobook to read, especially since I'm doing all this cleaning, and I had the stack of witch books, and I was like, oh, let me see if I can get one of them in audio. Found this one, and I am loving this, and I'm very confused because on Goodreads, this is a really bad rating. I can't remember what it is. I'll put it here, but it's definitely low for like Goodreads. And I was like, why? Because I am loving this so far. Like, so far, this is one of my favorite of the witch books that I have been reading. And so I'm curious if it's all going to fall apart later, or if I'm just going to be the outlier that really loves this. But so far, it just has a really great book, contemporary and magical vibe. It's basically about this woman named Persephone, who is who was an orphan as a child and grew up in the foster care system. And she kept getting moved from home to home because weird things would happen. Like, it seemed like she had some powers that she didn't know anything about, and so things would happen, and so then people would like not want her, and like not want her in the house anymore because she was not necessarily dangerous, but they were just like confused of what was happening around her and didn't feel like comfortable having her in the home. And so she just kept going from foster home to foster home, and then now she is an adult who obviously has a lot of issues related to that, like abandonment throughout her childhood, and also still is having weird things happen around her that she doesn't know why it's happening, and she's worried that something's wrong with her because these weird things are happening around her. And then she gets invited by this woman that she has met and kind of like maintained an online friendship with, and asking to come to her island. And so Persephone goes to meet Hyacinth at her island, and it turns out that they knew that she is a witch, and that's why like they brought her to do some things at the island, some things that have to do with a curse that has been on the island revolving around witches. But like she's like getting confirmation that, oh yes, I am a witch and I need to learn how to control my powers. And so far I've just really enjoyed this. Has actually a lot of magic in it and like magical things happening, where I feel like a lot of times when you read a contemporary book with witches in it, like I'm talking about, like I just read Practical Magic, and there was hardly any magic in it, where like there's talk maybe about magic being done or magical things, but this actually literally has them practicing magic and magic happening around her and all that. And so I'm really enjoying the atmosphere, and also they're on this island that is very atmospheric, and a lot of fun things are happening. There's like a library of like, I don't know if it's just related to witches, but like definitely a mysterious library that you can't just like walk up to, that you have to like find. It's a library of lost people, lost things. Yeah, so I am loving this so far at the 1/3 of the way in. So I'm just really curious of why it gets all these low ratings. I don't want to go through and read the reviews because I don't want to be like spoiled if something does happen, because I'm enjoying it so much right now. So I'm along for the ride and hoping that it continues to be great, and that I can like, recommend this to the right audience so that it can get a higher rating. And plus it's just a cool cover. That's why I got it, because I was like buying another witch book, and then for that like video I'm doing about do I like witch books, then I saw this one and I was like, well, that cover looks really nice. And I didn't really look into it before I bought it, because if I had seen the Goodreads rating ahead of time, I might not have picked it up, but I'm glad I did because I am enjoying it so far. So yeah, those are the things that I have been reading. Like I said, I just haven't been reading a ton, but I'm fine with that. This weekend, we're going to be doing a bunch of birthday stuff. Like I said, we have a party tomorrow, and then her actual birthday's on Sunday. So we'll probably do like some family, nice dinner of her favorite foods and stuff like that. So we'll definitely do birthday things all weekend. So I don't know if I will be reading much this weekend. So this might just be a week where I'm just taking off from reading much. But I'm hoping next week to get started on my TBR, because actually none of these, all these things are things that I either like was finishing up from October or stuff I just like randomly picked up, but none of this has been on my TBR for November. So I'm not going to stress out about that this weekend, but like, and I'm not going to stress out about it in general. Like, that's not how I feel about reading, but I would like to pick up some of those things for nonfiction November and Historathon next week. So hopefully all of these will get finished. Like I said, I only have like parts of the novellas. This is going pretty quick on audio, so I might be able to finish those 3 things before next week, and then can actually get on my TBR. Let me know how your reading is going this week, and I will see you next time. Bye.